talk about challenges to parenting in our present generation. That's what I want to talk about. Challenges to parenting in our present what? Generation. And let's go to the book of Luke chapter 2. We are reading from verse 43. After the feast was over, while his parents were returning home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem. But they were unaware of it. Thinking he was in the company, they traveled on for a day. Then they began looking for him among their relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they went back to Jerusalem to look for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. Everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and his answers. We can stop there. The generation we are in is saddled with selfish ambition. Parents are ambitious, children are ambitious, school children are ambitious, everyone is ambitious to make his agenda pass. And even the laws that have been put there to defend the family values, they don't build nor strengthen the family values. I was reading through a bit about in the children's statute, and you see a lot of loopholes in that statute. The generation we are in again is filled up with pornography. And as a result, our children lose their morals when they are still very young. And to make matters worse, parents are too busy making money and have little time to those they are going to leave that money to. I repeat, parents, you are too busy making money and you have too little time for your children, those jewels whom God has trusted you with. You are busy making money to people whom you have not prepared how to safeguard your money and wealth. And then you leave the children to what? Housemaids, daycare, television, and mobile phone. This is a true story. A certain man had produced 3 children. And then they were busy making money. And they were very wealthy, staying where the rich stay in Uganda. And then all of a sudden, the children are very observant. I want you to understand this. So the children went, they were already seeing some CDs, but there was a CD which their parents never allowed them to see it. So one time they forgot to close their bedroom. And the children entered there, and one of them stole the CD and put it into the CD player and started to see what was on the CD were pornographic pictures. And as they were watching, the houseboy comes. It was a houseboy. Comes inside and sees what is happening. And he tells them, what you see there, I can teach it to you. And it is very sweet. It is wonderful. And then as they were there, the boy comes in and he says, aha, I have found you are seeing filthy things and stupid things. I'm going to report you to mommy and daddy. The houseboy told him, don't worry. These are the things you need to know. and I'm going to teach them to you. I have the plan. So what he did was one, he got the houseboy, he had a maid on the neighbors. He took the boy to the neighbor, and the maid who was there did the necessary and taught this young man how to pray sex. And then the houseboy also did the same and prayed sex with these children. These young girls. And these children, what made matters worse, this young man, the maid, had AIDS. And he was also using the other maid. So even the boy, when he went there, he got contaminated. Or he got AIDS. And so one of the older girls started to become sick. And the father was worried, and the mother said, what has happened to our child? They took the child to the doctor. I'm talking about something which happened in the 90s, not now. And then the doctor told them after examination that your daughter has AIDS. He said it is impossible. She can't. I know my daughter. And then later, after questioning this daughter, she told them the whole story. Now, by the time I'm speaking, the family lost all their jewels. The girls and the boy. You are too busy making money, but entrusting your precious one to people who won't be able to protect the most precious thing in your life, and that is your child. When we go back to the text, the Bible tells us about Jesus Christ and the parents, the first family. I will call it the first family in the sight of God, and that is the family of Mary and Joseph. They had gone to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. And according to the Jewish law, God had told Moses that when a young man becomes 12 years, he has also to do what? To go to Jerusalem to worship him. Jerusalem, they knew it as the city of God. They knew it as the seat of God. And so the Bible tells us, where we have read here, that Jesus Christ was 12 years, because according to the Jewish law, when a young boy comes to 12 years, he's now a man, and he can go to the synagogue and attend and sit with the men. And so they took Jesus Christ, according to the Jewish custom, to celebrate the Passover. And as they were in Jerusalem, they finished the celebration and they went back. And as they go back, they moved one day on. They were moving in a group, going back. And they didn't know that they had forgotten Jesus Christ behind. And after moving one day on, they realized that Jesus Christ was not around. Looked everywhere. They couldn't find him. They asked among the relatives. Jesus Christ was not around. They asked the friends. They said, we haven't seen him. And we see the family now had no choice. It can't continue to Nazareth, but it has to go back. And goes back to Jerusalem. That is also another what? Day. One day in front and another day behind. Those are how many days? 2 days. And they reach Jerusalem. And they look for Jesus Christ everywhere. They can't see him. And for 3 days they looked for the child. They couldn't see the child. Until they found him in the temple. When they found him in the temple, they said, Mary said, son, why have you treated us like this? Found him among the teachers of the law, hearing what they are saying and questioning them questions. And they were amazed and surprised about the intelligence and wisdom of this young child. We see what it costs to be a parent. It has to cost you. It is not a matter of bringing forth a child, but there is a price which you have to pay. And as a parent, this is what I have learned, and this is what I want to share with you. That the first thing you need to understand, that if you are going to be a parent, as a successful parent, you must have patience. Be patient. Parenting will teach you patience. Patience with the children whom God has entrusted you with. Sometimes you can give them school fees to go to school, and then they decide to embezzle the money and finish the money. And because you're a parent, you must have patience. So you know the future of that child. The moment you don't skill him, it's useless. It's going to be of anything in this world. And so you have left with one choice: to continue to be patient as you pray to God and ask him that let this child become what you want him to become. Patience is very important in parenting. Look at the children. You can be feeding it, and then as you are feeding it, it does what? It spoils its pampers and so on. You can't continue feeding. It will cry to reject the food, and so you have to stop there, cover the food, and then go what? Clean it, bring it back, feed it again. At night, I remember when my sons and daughter were still young, you go at night and see, check on them. Have they covered themselves? Have they uncovered themselves? Are they in the net or they are not in the net? Sometimes you will find one has also already pushed his leg out of what? Of the net. You don't beat the net. Don't beat the leg. No. You just bring it inside, and you don't want to wake him or her. Patience. If you have no patience, I would advise you, don't become a parent. Children will trouble you. And sometimes I envy these nursery school teachers. There are people who are sad, who are ingrained with a lot of patience. One time I went to a nursery school. And as I entered the nursery school, I found the other children were seated down there. And there was this young man. The man was given the name Hitler. And so he was standing on a desk. I said, what is that one doing? He said, Hitler is like that. The other lady who was the Sunday school teacher, not Sunday school, nursery school teacher, was a wonderful lady. He said, it's like that. You tell them, sit down, he stands up. You tell them, stand up, he sits down. I told her, if I was teaching this class, I think I would have got a good stick for this young boy. He told me, no, they don't beat children. In what? In nursery school. And please, if your child is attending a nursery school and they are beating them, take your child out. Take your child out. I'm advising you. Get another school. Those children are not beaten. You just talk them. What wins them over is what? Love. Some of the good teachers, my children, remember your Auntie Asfa. They still recall you taught them in their baby stage. It was love. Love will win a child. I'm going to talk about that one. But you must have patience. And parenting taught me patience. It also taught me another thing, taught me accountability. You are a steward of God's souls. God has entrusted you with these people, with those wonderful children. You are accountable. You are accountable. God will ask you on the last day, how you treated his souls. Sometimes we say we don't have time. If you don't have time for your children, and you have time for other things, then you are not serious with life. I learned it the hard way, and I had to put everything aside. Whenever there will be visitation, I will go there. I will cross out every meeting. I will say, please help me. I have to be there. Because I have to be accountable. It will be very sad on the last day when we are in the coffin and then the children are called to talk about their father, and then they stand up and say, we want to thank God because our mother stood there for us. And they are talking about you and they are talking about their mother who is still alive. That is not serious. That is absurd, abnormal. I remember when my son had gone to King's College Budo in the first year, first term. The wonderful headmaster was there, Mr. Bakamari, a wonderful man. May he rest in peace. And as we are there, the first time we take our children, we are worried. We thought might be, how would they be, how would they, and so on, as you know, as parents. He told us after 1 week, come back, it is this. We went back. After 2 weeks, he told us, come back. There was another thing. There were so many meetings. But I realized that this was psychological. Because every time we would go back, we would ask Misha, how are you? He said, I'm fine. He was not even caring. He was comfortable. And then we realized that much as we have to be accountable, but we have to give our children to do what? To learn how to conduct their what? Their lives. You are accountable for those children. Teach your child in the way he should travel in. When he grows up, he will remember it. If you don't do the one necessary, then just understand that is the omission of what? Of duty. Ask yourself, what have you contributed in the life of your child? You have a job if you're a father or mother. You have to feed that child. You have to dress it. You have to protect it. You have to train it. You have to educate it. You have to skill it so that they can survive during their generation. They have to survive during their generation. It is your responsibility to do what? To feed them. Never go back home and say and brag and say, I'm the one who feeds you. That is nonsense. That is your duty as a parent. You have to dress them. You have to educate them. If they remember you, that is good. If they don't remember you, you have done your duty. You must be a man and a woman of responsibility. If the husband doesn't see the use of education, you as a woman do your best and educate your children. Because you want to desire your children to become better than you. Don't settle where you are. Let the next generation surpass you. That's what I told my family, my children. If we stopped here with my wife in education, we want you to surpass us. And it is my responsibility to support them and to encourage them and to tell them, please, you can go to the next level. You have a responsibility to protect those young ones. Keep them safe. You saw this carnival of Kasese, some of you in the social media. You saw it. That lady was doing one job. Was to do what? To kidnap the children and then go and sell, and mutilate them and sell the meat as katogo. It is terrible when you see the photographs, the images and the video. Look at that. But that again challenges us as parents that we should be what? Responsible to protect our young ones. You have a duty to protect your child. That child believes in you, and God believes in you that you can protect that soul He has given to you. It is your responsibility. Likewise, I have learned that parenting demands enduring love. Love which endures. Enduring love, meaning lasting over a period of time. You have to forbear, to love those children. Children are not interested in toys, in mobile phones, in computers. They are interested in your love. Your children are interested for you being there for them when they need you. When I was studying my postgraduate, I was studying with a certain lady who was coming from Tanzania, Arusha. And this lady had an orphanage. And then I was asking, and she was telling me the children, how she has raised them up. And then she told me something which I learned in my life. And I started to employ it. She told me at one time they brought her a child. And the Lord told her that I want you to love that child. And she started looking after the child. She said, no. The way child knows that you love her, that is very good. That is the way you should do the child. Put her in your chest and let her hear your heartbeat. When a child hears your heartbeat and yours hitting, she knows that you love her. Fathers who are here, how many of you hug your daughters? My daughter is married, but even when she comes back, she tells me, Daddy, hug me. And I hug her. Because she grew, that's what I was doing. I was hugging her. Why should I lead a foreigner, somebody you don't know, these Rastafarians, because they know the trick, and then he hugs your child, and the child feels the heartbeat of the Rastafarian, and he goes with that. Pastor, I fear I'm immoral. You are not serious. You wait until she gets somebody who will hug her. You will see. You will forget everything you never knew about her. She will be gone. And so, Pastor, I don't understand my children. I don't. Wait. You never did your job. Enduring love. You can buy them the clothing and so on. Love has to do with what? With our bodies. How we relate. It has actions. And lastly, because time is not on my side, being a parent also involves nourishing. We nourish our children with constructive ideas. Feed them with constructive ideas. Both mentally, spiritually, and physically. And also, lastly, train your children. is very important to train children. Train your child, and how you train him, that's how he will be. Train them how to pray, that they wake up in the morning. And then in the African custom, there's two things which are very important. We as Africans and Christians. One is prayer. Train your child to pray every time it wakes up. And train it also to greet. Sometimes you go into some homes and you see children, people who are saved, tongue speaking. And then the children look at you like this and they say monkey which has visited their home. They don't greet. There are several things which are very important, we as Africans, which we need to teach our children. Teach your children how to do what? To greet. They have to greet. Teach them to knock when they enter your bedroom. And even when we enter anywhere, we are going fast knock. Don't just open the door. It is not a toilet. Oh, come on. You see, some people just enter into my office. Wow. It is an office. If they are the workers, those ones I understand. But you church member, come on. We teach them table manners. Teach your children table manners. That is very important. We need to teach them. We call it what? Social etiquette. How do we behave in society? You are still eating and somebody gets a toothpick. Starts to go out. Break his teeth. You have to teach your children. Teach them how to dress. Woo-hoo. I know you like short dresses. But if you are married, come on. Unless your husband likes it. But you are in Chimombas, I warn you. This dress is not the safest. Several years ago, a certain girl was rape ganged here there as you are nearing the road. It was at night. And she was a member of this church. I knew about it much later. Dress properly according to the occasions. Church has church dresses. Parties, they have dresses for parties. And beach has also a beach. But it will be very sad if you are coming to the church and you put on a bikini. Then when you are going to the beach, you put on a body. Teach your children to have seasoned speech, how to speak. And last, they must have hygiene. Teach them hygiene. Hygiene. Tell your neighbor, hygiene.